What's up, what's up, what's up? Let me check the link, make sure we are live. And looks like we're good. What's going on, everybody? Another watch list. This one, last one of the week, so figure I would try to squeeze it in this evening. Couple trades for me today. Small red day. Had taken off my HTZ swing into close. It was holding up pretty well over the prior highs in those 870s. And same kind of thing, just weak close. I'm starting to lose patience on this thing. And this breakout, I was willing to hold through just because of the weak close, but it was still a lot off the lows. This one went straight up off the open into looking left levels, and then not the prettiest daily candle. So, although trend was still intact, we did breach it there in after hours. So if this is opening, I imagine this breaks 820s tomorrow, and then I wouldn't really want in it. So I think I sold it for like a 5-cent loss, and it didn't really amount to anything. SMMT, I had shorted this one this morning as per the plan. We got that slight little gap into the looking left level, and I basically shorted the opening shove right into red to green using 34s as a guide. The highs was like 33.80s, somewhere around there, so I just picked 33 like 95 or something with a stop just to give it a few cents of room. And off of this opening action, so I had started into the morning pop and was willing to scale as long as 33 stayed heavy, then scale versus highs, and each time it flushed into it, it got saved, so no reason to get beyond a starter there, and ended up stopping out through 34s. So had a buck of risk on something that could have rolled over to 30-ish, and would have gotten maybe double and a half size through the 33s breakdown, but it just never came, so took my loss, and was a good loss because it ended up going quite a bit higher. So that was that one. I haven't run through all my scans. I do have a few names just from looking at some percent gainers from today that I think are worth checking out. We've got Omex here. That was on Watchlist a few days ago, setting price alerts through 80 cents, and unfortunately I was already off desk by the time those hit. But nice little breakout, morning move up to 110s, get 30 cents. The entry for me is probably something like this. You get that push, breakout, pullback, VWAP reclaim. This little dip and rip candle is probably like an 80-cent entry versus 60s, maybe 65-ish. So it's probably risking 15 cents to make 30 cents, a little 2-to-1 trade. And then it never set higher lows, so any long on dips would have to be risking the prior low until it re-breaks through these 110s. So now going into tomorrow, that 75s is likely the guide. So any weak opens, flushes towards 90 to a buck, I like for continuation. A couple other multi-day runners that are hitting scan here. Pony was Flashnet SEC was on the stream yesterday. I believe he had mentioned this, if I got that right. But he had mentioned it yesterday for a little bounce trade, and now we've gotten that 4 to 9 move, so we got that 100% threshold met, and it likes to set its low a day and then trend the rest of the day, set its low a day and trend, and we're getting that similar action we went over where we get that blowout into after hours. So it did close in the set mid 7s and then pushed 9 after hours. So higher this gaps, the better. And then look for those opening range lows to get taken out and join that trend for lower. But I like this look for a first red day. It has a pretty good history of pullbacks. You can see if we zoom out here. I thought there was another run before this. No? Could be wrong. I thought there was another one before it. Maybe I'm thinking of something else. But nice volume nonetheless. Trade's pretty tight, so not a thin one that you're going to get swiped on, but definitely a worthy watch to keep on radar. FFAI hit scan as just a percent gainer. If you were around over here, was a really nice opportunity. Multi-day run, first red day, and all multi-day runs since then. Multi-day run, sit back. Multi-day run, sit back. So ideally, we get a multi-day run. If this were to gap 70% plus, I'd short that as an overextended gap up. Otherwise, I'm just hoping this continues higher for another couple days and then can get another solid first red day. This is a habitual diluter, massive top left to bottom right chart. So will fail eventually. Just a matter of how far it goes before then. SMMT, technically the daily chart's just getting better the higher it goes, but now that it is is it all-time highs breakout? Yep, all-time highs breakout. So now that it's broken out and hasn't stuffed that level, I'm gonna need that thing to go 38, 42, quite a bit higher. We are up 10% today. Volume did trickle off a little bit. And daily bars are staying pretty consistent. Now we've had that red move that trapped some shorts, and you've got momentum buyers through that breakout. So there's a bit too much demand there for me to look for a short trade on that one right now. RLMD, I had touched this one briefly off open right there into that morning pop, and the low a day break, and there's just zero, abysmal volume. Trading 20K a minute, I could be a candle. So not looking to be involved in that. So just covered and moved on. CEP, exactly what we went over yesterday. Who was it that was long? Was it FlashNet also that was long this for an overnight trade? But it was the same bull thesis. And so far, trading exactly like this one did. So any gap downs, I like morning pops for failed follow through. Nice parabolic this morning that gave back its entire move. So I will be looking for any pulls that are red and look for pops back into day 2 resistance and look for this pullback first red day trade. I think it could pull for multiple days, but we'll have to see how it's trading off the open. If it just tanks 20-30%, I don't know if I've got the guts to continue to swing it, locking in a game like that, but don't know what it's going to do. So I'm just going to make a plan for entry and then react to what it's doing for exits. USAR continued higher today. Nice move. SBEV pulled back. MSGM still holding up. HTZ we went over. Eric bouncing with USAR. SPY was a gap and grind day. That was crazy. Just gapped and steady highs all day. Business as usual. What's going on, Jeff? Yeah, so I'm just going to flip through scans here quickly and see if I'm missing anything. I've kind of got enough on watch that I don't really need any other names between SEP, Pony. Basically, SEP and Pony will be my top 2, and then Omex, see what it does. But I don't really need a lot more than 2 main watches. But worth running scans in case there's some sort of opportunity that I'm missing, not seeing, and could pay dividends if we see something. STRO. Multi-day runner. Starting to extend itself. It's pretty vertical. Don't really know what the story is behind this. It's another biotech. No news. Yeah. It's nice that it's extending like that. That's going, like, if you zoom out, that's going pretty vertical. But just daily chart wise, it's not the most extended thing in the world. So I will throw it on the list just so I don't lose it off radar, but ideally it runs tomorrow and then get a trade on Monday. Golan in the house. Jeff and Golan, a couple of our regulars. Good to see you guys. Scans aren't super full, so it shouldn't take too long. Just a couple left here. El Jefe. Jeff says, good to see ya. Appreciate it. I always feel like I need to have an accent when I say El Jefe. Hey, yo soy El Jefe. Given that everyone is extra bullish for tomorrow, what will be the case for a contrarian red day in your view? Well, you do have the weekly options expiring. So basically you would want another day like today where you get that gap and grind and it holds into like the last like maybe 2 p.m., 3 p.m. window. And market makers have to unwind their hedges on the other side of those trades, so everyone gets mega bullish, and then they unwind their hedges, and it just retraces the move. So if this were to be like another gap and grind day tomorrow, and if you were to get like a push, maybe another 10 points or so, up in like the 550s, like prior support, then you got possible prior support becomes resistance. Technicals are agreeing. You've got options expiry. And you've got a somewhat of a straight up move off the 510s. So I think that would be my argument for a contrarian move. I wouldn't really want it just to short the open tomorrow and look for a pullback. That's not really what I would want. But that's my opinion. VIX finally breaking down. They're into close. Lou. There's a spike. See how another like straight up move. I don't know if these are like just because of the market or credit services in China. China. Lou is from China. Wonder what Arcat's doing. That was that swing I had a while back. It's bouncing. What about Gurr? It's still bouncing. Calm. Oh, wow. Lucky covers. Stro still hitting a few lists. That's probably good enough. These names are getting a bit of liquid now. Let's see what faded today with the market so strong. Those would be relative weakness names. I'm getting a warning on this stream. Says it's okay now. But it keeps popping up, talking about the bit rate. I don't know what that means. Hopefully it's streaming okay. Bunch of dumper names, jeez. So far I'm not really seeing, and typically like going out and looking for names to trade isn't always the best. Like sometimes it works out, but a lot of times the ones that are slapping you in the face are the ones you need to trade anyways. So when I come in and I barely even scan, I'm just doing like chat room review and chat logs and stuff. And when I start pulling up tickers that everyone's talking about and they fit my style, then typically don't need to look much further. I think my Wi-Fi is pretty good. I don't know what bit rate is. Oh yeah, I'm getting like 700 megabytes. Huh, I don't know. Never usually see that little warning thing. MU, there was that little swing idea I had, and that one saved right away. Straight up with NVIDIA. I think, what was that ticker? ARM, was it? I think had a nice little breakout today off the lows. This one was showing some relative strength where it wasn't as close to the lows as some of the sympathies were. So, let me zone in here and just see my list of names. So this is me just going down the list. This one here is pretty illiquid, but I think you could see the merit to this trade where you get, this is the high volume day. It hasn't traded that ever. We get one day, retraces, kind of like a transitional day, where everybody who wanted to get in gets in, anybody who's bagged sells, and it just trickles off. But big money's still in there from that day. Then it starts to grind back, and I don't like straight up breakouts into looking left, but when they push, pull, consolidate, and start to tighten up. So I could see myself taking a small entry, like it's only trading this day 1,000,007, this day 900, this day 500. So it's not trading huge volume, but we do have this low twos level that I feel like I could trust. So I probably, like if we're not gapping up or down crazy, if we're opening flat here, I probably take an entry and just plan to swing it, set a stop, and look to get in risk reward wise, risking like 10 cents. Because if it breaks 230s, then, you know, maybe we get 250s, 260s, risking 10 cents and try to make 30 to 50 or something like that. Just a small idea. You saw I don't really have a trade on this anymore. I wouldn't buy that breakout. This thing's just way too choppy. The parabolic short was tough enough, but the bounce was pretty clean. Hindsight, should have just swung it all. That would have been a huge trade. It was already like a 6-to-1 trade in the 11 range. Another $2 higher. Jeez, would have been a lot of money. So SEP, I like this one. RLMD, I don't have to watch that anymore. SNOA. That one I put on watch yesterday. I probably buy a 4 break on this. Similar to that NKTX idea where it wouldn't be a sizable trade. But it's now held this double bottom twice. We had a big after hours move. Day 1 didn't get anywhere. Day 2 volume is gone. Traded 59 million down to 1 million. So it's definitely liquidity trap territory. And today's highs lines up with yesterday's consolidation. So a 4 break, I probably buy, risk 350. And just swing it. Let's see what their dilution situation is. they're cash flow positive. Wow, they're making money. That's crazy. I'm seeing like 1 million outstanding. So it could get thin. I like this for liquidity trap. So SMMT likely comes off of main radar now. It was probably like a B grade setup going into today. But now I have other A grade setups going into tomorrow. So this one takes a back seat. I'd put like FFAI and STRO in the same kind of basket where they're starting to run on the daily, but I'd need them higher to take a trade. Pony looks really nice. I like the way this one trades. Like if you, any given candle, if you're shorting, like say you're shorting, maybe here, anticipating a breakdown, like a 640 high a day is 20 cents away on a $6 name. Like that's, the risk reward on this thing I think is going to be pretty good. Let me see what. Pull up this one here. I like using stock charts for their RSI. It looks pretty, I like the way they present it. So their RSI is only at 50 for Pony, which isn't crazy. Could definitely go higher. Their exponential moving average, the 4 EMA I like to use, is right around $6. So as far as that goes, it's extended from 6. The RSI could go higher. If I short that, like I need opening range lows would be my trigger because it likes to set its lows off open. So if I do get that breakdown, I'm going to trade it tomorrow. And I doubt the borrows in this thing are going to be that expensive just based on how it trades. Because it's probably pretty, it's got almost $1 billion market cap. So it's thick. So borrows should be pretty easy. It says hard to borrow right now. We'll see if it says that tomorrow, but it would be cheap anyways. Institutionally owned. That's gotta be a screw up. There's no way. Insiders own 24%. Institutions own 13%. It's a 260 million outstanding. It's like a 2 billion market cap based on $9 then. Only 1.5% short float, so it's not super crowded short wise. So as far as RSI goes, it's not showing overbought. But the run is definitely intriguing me. Omax, that's a nice breakout through 80 cents. Risk reward on it's probably gone. I bet you it just gaps tomorrow. I'd much rather be long from down here than trying to buy weak opens. So probably take that one off main watch. So I'd say SEP pops into prior resistance, failed follow through. SNOA 4+ builds, liquidity trap. And Pony, higher the better, first red day. Golan, one of the hardest parts of the markets lately is the strength that pushed tickers straight up without pullbacks. Ends up you have to enter high and risk tight. Yeah, if stuff's straight up and isn't offering me a pullback entry for if I'm looking along, I typically just let it go, knowing that, like if I was looking to buy Pony today, but it just didn't offer a pullback and was just steady grind, no risk level that I trust, I just let it go and know that in a day or two I've got a short trade on the same name, then just kind of cheerleading from the sidelines that it goes higher. You don't have to be involved in it. when I was pigeonholed into just buying listed stocks, I definitely felt it a bit more because then when the listed long was gone, I had no more opportunity to trade it. But once you get kind of a few setups in the arsenal, once you miss one side of the trade, you just kind of move on to the next step of the daily chart structure. So if you miss the bounce, then let it run and short the first red day. And if you miss the first red day, then dip by the backside bounce. And if you miss the bounce, then wait to short a lower high or a backside breakdown, or, you know. Congrats on your trades there, Flashnet. I think you had SEP overnight, I think it was. Was it you? And someone had mentioned Pony's little first bounce day too. Someone called that one out. Yep, exactly what we discussed. It's not going to 80, but a gap and go. Same thing as bull. Exactly what we said. That's tough. It's tough to hold those things. They're risky, right? If you try to hold it and this was the high a day here and it round trips, you'd be kicking yourself that you didn't lock in profits. So it frustrates you now just because you have the beauty of hindsight. So yes, sir. Yeah, congrats on the trade. Very well done. So yeah, going into Friday, main watches will be SEP for a first red day. Pony, ideally gap up parabolic and failed fall through, but we'll trade a red day on that. Just leaning gap up parabolic because it's already gapping up, and leaning first red day because this one closed right around where it's trading. So I don't think this one's going to gap up, and if it does, it won't be much. Whereas Pony closed around the mid sevens, it's already up $1, so higher the better. And then Snowa. So top 3 there for me. And look to end the week strong. Been a good week. So your teachings helped it happen. Nice. Good to hear. Good to hear. Good to hear. Keep coming around. I like the interaction. You bet, Jeff. Always happy to do it. Those of you in the room, I will see you over in IU. And the rest of you, I will see you next week for another batch of Watchlist. Take it easy, trade them well, get in where you fit in, and make some memories. I'll see you later. Peace.